Hi everybody and welcome. I'm Tammy from Nutmeg Notebook. I'm happy to have you here today. So today we are going to be talking all about the Vitamix V1200 high-powered blender. I love this blender. It's my first Vitamix blender, and we want to talk to you about how Vitamix offers them as a reconditioned blender. So if you're watching this live with me this Sunday, feel free to ask me questions in the chat. Just preface those questions with 2 or 3 question marks and end with 2 or 3 question marks. That just helps them pop out at me so that I can answer your questions about them. And Tom and I are affiliates with the Vitamix company, and that came about because we love our Vitamix blender. So we follow a whole food, plant-based lifestyle, and we use our Vitamix blender a lot, almost every day for various things. So we use it to make green smoothies, to make our salad dressings, our no oil salad dressings. Some of them are bean based, some of them are soy based, some of them are nut based, and it does a fabulous job. We also use it to make pancakes and waffles, and I make my own oat flour in it by putting rolled oats in it and blending them into a flour. And I make soups in them. You can actually make hot soups in them, which is a really pretty cool feature. And it doesn't have a heating element. It's simply the blade spins around at such a fast speed that it can actually heat up your soup, which is a time saver because you can make a blended soup in it and serve it hot, and you don't have to transfer it to a pot to heat it up. Also, my Chipotle nacho cheese sauce, I can make that in the blender and it turns out nice and hot, and you can serve it right away. Tom's usually the one that makes the Chipotle nacho cheese sauce for us, and so it just works out really well. So you can also do dry chopping in it. So if you want to throw an onion in there and dry chop it, or some cauliflower or broccoli or some red cabbage or even carrots, you can do that. If you want to make your own riced cauliflower, you can actually do that right in the blender. And so there's just so many things that you can do with it. I will make a marinara sauce, and you can oven roast the tomatoes and the garlic and then put them in the blender and make it nice and smooth. Also, you can control how thick or chunky it is, how smooth, I should say, or chunky it is by how long you blend it. And so it's just so versatile. There's a lot that we use it for, and it's a high-powered blender, which is really important when you are trying to blend things like dates, which we use to sweeten our sweet items that we make. And so you need to be able to process and make them creamy and smooth so that they blend in well with your batter. So whether you're making some muffins or some brownies or some nice cream, what is nice cream? That is just like frozen fruit that you put in the Vitamix and you blend it, and it turns into the most delicious like fruit sorbet. We call it nice cream instead of ice cream because it's dairy free. And so even if you don't follow a whole food plant-based lifestyle, if you're looking to be able to make low-fat, healthy desserts, sauces, dips, hummus, then a high-powered blender is such a blessing. Now, you can buy less expensive blenders, but what we have heard over the years since we have been plant-based since 2013 is that people say that those blenders, because of the hard work that they have to go to in order to blend nuts and dates and lots of greens for green smoothies, they burn out and they end up replacing them. So initially it is a bit of a larger investment to invest in a Vitamix blender, but it's worth it because I know people who are using ones that had belonged to their parents or their grandparents. So they will last for years and years and years. So if you're watching, please let us know where you're watching from. And Rosemary has a question already. She said, did you buy yours new or refurbished? And we actually bought it new. This model, the V1200, is the model that is sold at the Costco stores. And we bought ours, oh gosh, I don't even remember how many years ago now. Tom's guessing 4 or 5 years ago. And we paid probably a little over $400 for it. And we purchased it new. We have some questions about what comes with it, and I would like to address that. Jamie is asking, does the Reconditioned one come with a tamper? And Jesse's on. Hi, Jesse. Thank you for joining us. We didn't let anybody know that we were going live because we were getting some questions, and we thought that we would just hop on and do a Q&A with you all. So you will get the 64-ounce container, the lid that has the removable cap here. And the reason this is removable, 1, you can add ingredients while you're blending. 2, it allows some ventilation. So if you are blending a soup or a sauce that you want to have blend long enough to get hot, it's important that some of that heat can escape. And so this is a vented top as well. And it also doubles as a little measuring tool. So it has a 1 ounce and a 1/2 ounce measuring on it as well, which is really handy if you're doing like hummus and you want to add some lemon juice to it per se. So you will also get the tamper. Now this is the 64-ounce container is what they call a low profile container. The really cool thing about this is this blender fits under the cabinets of standard size, standard height kitchen cabinets. So the original Vitamix blenders, you know, had a really tall container and they did not fit underneath the cabinet. So that's the really cool thing about the low profile. You also get a tamper, and how the tamper works is, I'll just show you. You remove the top and then you put the tamper in. Now it has a stopping point so you can see that it does not go down and hit the blade. But what this allows you to do, if you're doing like a lot of greens and you're making a really thick smoothie, then this allows you to get everything pushed down towards the blades. If I'm making hummus in it, which I really love to make hummus in this, then it allows you to push those garbanzo beans down into the blade so that everything gets processed. The same if you're doing the frozen fruit to make a fruit sorbet, then you just push this down and it gets everything down in there. And then the shape of the Vitamix container is on purpose. It is so that it helps create a vortex so that as it's blending, everything gets sucked down into the blade. And when you make it, you'll see you get these 4 little streams of content that go and get sucked down into the middle. So it works great. Now you will also get the Simply Blending cookbook. So if you've never had a Vitamix or a high-powered blender, this is awesome. It's beautiful. It has gorgeous pictures in it, and it will take you through and teach you how to make sauces, salad dressings, hummus, all the things that you're going to love to be able to make. Also some hot soups in here, some desserts, and I have a lot of recipes on our YouTube channel as well as my blog at nutmegnotebook.com, where I teach you how to use the Vitamix blender and make some wonderful meals that you will love. So everything from appetizers, breakfast appetizers, salad dressings, soups, waffles, all kinds of fantastic things. So on a Reconditioned Vitamix, it goes through what's called a 17-point inspection. So the Vitamix that gets reconditioned has to be a year old or less. So If it was manufactured within 1 year or less, then they will go ahead and do the 17-point check on it and refurbish it. And so you will get an all-new container, lid, and little center piece, and you will get an all-new tamper. And then the blade, as long as there's nothing wrong with the blade, then they will sanitize the blade and give you the blade in a new container. They will also make sure that the housing looks great. It won't have scratches on it. It won't be cracked. And in fact, a lot of people say that they think that Vitamix sent them an all-new blender when they purchased one of the Reconditioned, because it looks so great. So you would not be able to tell that it had been used. Now, normally the reason that they are returned is because somebody bought it like in January thinking, you know, oh, they were going to start this new lifestyle and they were going to make green smoothies, and then they ended up not doing it, and then they take it back and return it to Costco. And so you also get a 5-year warranty on it as well. So that's really a great warranty, and Vitamix can do that because they have very few Vitamix blenders that get returned because of a problem. And so Tom and I have been fortunate enough to be able to go to Ohio. We went last summer, and we got to have a personal tour of the Vitamix show floor. We got to go in the warehouse. We got to go see the team that works on doing the refurbishing of the Vitamix blenders, and a lot of the employees there will purchase the refurbished Vitamix to give to their relatives or their friends for gifts. And what did I say?
You've been saying refurbished.
Oh, well, reconditioned. Yeah. Tom's correcting me. Reconditioned.
Well, refurbished kind of means like it's older. Reconditioned is just made brand new.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good. And so, and then the employees get to purchase a Reconditioned V1200 after they've been working there for a certain period of time. And so many of them talked to us and told us how much they loved their Vitamix. And we've been hearing from a lot of you over the last few days who've been telling us that you bought one 10 or 15 years ago and that it's still going strong. And so, you know, Vitamix just has an amazing reputation for putting out a very high quality product. So I'm gonna check and see if we have some more questions. Lori says, we have this blender, love it, use it multiple times a day. Sandra says, I wanted the self-detect. I also have all of the accessories and I love it. So that's another thing. Thank you for mentioning that, Sandra. This does have what is called the self-detect technology. So what that means is when this blender container gets sat down on here, the blender base can detect what size blender container I have on there, and then it will not allow it to go longer, blend longer than it should for anything. Let's say the soup, for instance, if I'm blending a soup, it knows that, you know, it shouldn't go past a certain amount of minutes, and it will automatically stop it. If you've walked away and forgot about having it going, it will stop. Yes?
That would be like on the Ascent for the pre-programs. The V1200 doesn't actually have a soup program?
It doesn't have a soup program, but it knows what container you put on it, and it knows what that container can do. And so it has that self-detect. I was reading about it today. Wow. And so if you put the 48-ounce container on there, it knows how long the maximum amount of time is that the 48-ounce container should run. This also works with the food processor attachment, which I have here. Now this is separate. This is sold separately, and I love this food attachment, the food processor attachment container. So let me just talk to you about it quickly here. So I didn't have this, and I was talking to Wanda from the NHA one day, and she asked me, Tammy, do you have the food processor attachment for your Vitamix? And I said, I don't. And she said, oh my gosh. She said, you should look into it, because she said, I absolutely love it. I was interested in looking into it because I have a very high-end, expensive food processor that Tom bought me years ago, and I hated getting it out. The base was extremely heavy, and so I would lug it out and then I would use it, and it was really difficult to clean. I would have to take a toothpick to clean all the way around the edges. It had all these grooves that everything would get stuck in. I don't have that problem with the Vitamix food processor. So it comes with the standard blade. Most food processors call this an S blade, as you can see here. And so this is, you know, your standard blade that you would use if you are making hummus in it, or I make my brownie mix in it, or veggie burgers I will make in it. And so it is a liquid 2 liters and 64 ounces, 8 cups is the capacity of it. And so then the lid just snaps on. So it's very easy to use. And then you also have 2 tampers, or what are these called? Not tampers, but I can't think of the name, Tom.
Chutes.
But chutes, thank you. And so you have 2 of them. So 2 different sizes. I'll use this one if I have something big that I want to push down in there, and then that goes in. If you're doing something small, then you can use this smaller opening here, and then this will push things down through the chute. You get 2 blades with this, but they do double duty, and so they're reversible. So you get thin slice on one side and small shred on the other side, and then you have thick slice on one side and large shred on the other. Now there is a set of 3 more blades that you can get. They don't come with this food processor kit like this, but you have additional blades that you can get, that you can purchase to go with it. I like how this has such a small footprint. Now this container, the container comes off from the base. This container is dishwasher safe. The base does not go in the dishwasher. I just wipe the base off, and it works great. And so this has the self-detect, so when you put it on the blender base, then it knows what you have on there, and it knows how to respond. And so it just works great. And then because the engineers did such a great job with putting this together, let me get my lid off here. I'm trying to do it and not break a nail. So then this just fits on here.
You're behind your iPad.
Am I behind my...
Oh,
Whoops.
no, I guess not from that camera angle. You're fine.
Here, I can move it. It's also hard to do it when I'm sitting down. Here we go. So this just fits on here like this, nice and easy. And then this fits on top of here and slides down. And so then this just doesn't take up too much room in my cupboard. And so because we use the Vitamix so much, I keep my base out all the time. So when I want to use my food processor, I just pull this out, and it's very simple and easy to install it and use, and cleanup is such a breeze with it. So you are getting the 64-ounce container with this, which is really great for medium to large amounts of blending. So, I mean, I can do 2 smoothies in here for Tom and I all at the same time. It's 2 quarts worth is what we will do. if you want to make smaller batches of things, there is a 48-ounce container that has the self-detect technology that can be used on here. And so if you're going to purchase the 48-ounce container, you need to make sure that you get the self-detect 48-ounce container to work on this base. So, so this works out great. And while you're getting the container, a couple of accessories that I like is this is the little holder that works. It just slides underneath, and your tamper goes in there. So they make this for the Venturist and the Ascent model, and this is really nice because then it's right there if I need it. I don't have to go rummage through a drawer to find it, and it keeps it in the upright position, and then it's just always there and I can find it. And then also they make a blender spatula, and you can see how this is just slightly curved here, which is fantastic because you can get down inside of the blender container and you can scrape the things that get down underneath that blade. So you can scrape down the sides of it to push things down and then scrape them out when you're pouring, and you can also scrape underneath that blade. So that works out really well. They also have smoothie straws that we like, stainless steel smoothie straws that we have and that we really like, that have silicone little tips on them, and they're colored, and so that's really fun for the grandkids as well. Okay, Tom says he's lurking off screen, which he is. I thought he was going to join me, but he has
I didn't
not.
interrupt you. So,
yeah, so Jesse says Vitamix says on their website that reconditioned blenders have to be unused or lightly used and pass a 17-point inspection. Absolutely. Stephanie says, so are the reconditioned ones used, and what shape are they in? And so Jesse was answering that. So you will get a new container, lid, and center plug. The blade will, as long as there's no damage to the blade will be sanitized, and the housing will not have scratches, dents, or anything on it. And you will get a brand new tamper, and you will also get a brand new cooking cookbook with it as well. So, I mean, you guys, it's a fantastic value. You also will get a 5-year warranty, which is wonderful. And like many people have told us, you know, they bought one 5, 10, 15 years ago. They bought a reconditioned Vitamix blender, and they're still going strong. That's the thing. They just last for years and years and years. And so, and you know, we give this a really hard workout because we make a lot. And you know, I recipe test all the time, and I make my own oat flour in it, and I use it so much, and it just keeps working. It's fantastic. Sandra said, wow, I never knew the blade caddy snapped onto the processor lid. That is so cool. I know, isn't it? It's such a space saver. They tried to make it so that it would have a small footprint. And so I really love the food processor. I use my food processor so much more now because it's so easy, convenient, and most of all, it's very easy to clean, which you guys know I try to work smarter, not harder in the kitchen. So I'm all about being able to still have healthy, delicious food and make things homemade, but you know, I just don't want to spend more time in the kitchen than I have to. So Stephanie says, I just ordered one in slate gray. They do come in 3 colors, you guys. So they come black base, red, or the slate gray. So congratulations, Stephanie, and happy blending to you. She says she's very excited. Basically, she's going to use it for smoothies, sauces, and dressings. So, so that's great. Now, I forgot. I just looked at you and then forgot what I was going to say.
Well, I'm glad I have that effect on you.
It's because you're so handsome.
She looks at me and forgets. I think you've covered everything really well. And so
Thank you.
The Q&A stuff we should end, and then at the very ending we want to reiterate. So how do you want to do that? I can move this out of my face a little bit.
Well, I'm just looking. I want to make sure that that I answered everybody's questions, so I'm backing up.
Yeah, I think you covered them as you go. I was kind of watching.
Were you? Okay.
Yeah.
So I think I did. I think I did pretty good.
If I missed something, Jesse would have pointed it out to me.
That's right. So, so when we were at the Vitamix factory, we did get to go back in the back room. We got to see the people that worked there. In fact, when we checked into our hotel, the clerk at the hotel, I told her why we were there and that we were going to go visit Vitamix the next day. And she said, I used to work at Vitamix. And she said, I got a blender. And she said, I used to do the working on the reconditioned Vitamix blenders. And she said, I know how to take one apart and put it back together.
That's fun.
Yeah, and she was like, I just love my Vitamix. She says, even though I don't work there anymore, she's like, mine's still going strong and I'm still using it. And so the I guess like the pride in the community too of having the Vitamix home office there.
The town is proud that they have Vitamix in their town.
Yeah. And then when we went there, like everybody was so happy, and all the workers in every department that we went into. We got to meet with the chefs that develop the recipes for Vitamix, and that's another thing. Like the recipes in this book are very well tested, and then if you go on the Vitamix website, you can get even more additional recipes, and they're very into promoting a whole food plant-based lifestyle, and so they're coming up with more and more plant-based recipes all the time. And even in their regular cookbooks, there's a lot of plant-based recipes in those as well. And then, of course, I have a lot of recipes for you on my blog as well as the YouTube channel using the Vitamix blender.
Yeah, and if you want to learn more about Vitamix in general, we do have this. If you just Google search Nutmeg Notebook Vitamix, a number of Vitamix videos will come up. The homestead tour, the museum tour, food demos using the food processor and the blender.
Jessie said she really enjoyed our Vitamix museum tour.
Yeah,
we got to, like, the granddaughter of the of Vitamix
gave us the tour. Those videos haven't gotten a whole lot of traffic because they're kind of like so topically specific, but Vitamix plays such an important role in our kitchen. Mm-hmm. We hope it will someday in yours as well, if not already. And so that we were just really pleasantly surprised at the deep history that the company holds. So,
right.
So anyway, we are going to leave this live video up as a reference video on the subject of what is a reconditioned V1200.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'd like to go over the controls because I didn't do that yet.
Oh, okay. Let's do that.
Okay. So on the Vitamix, as you're looking at the Vitamix on the right,
get it back on screen.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
On the right-hand side, you will find the off-on switch down here.
Right back here, all the way in back on the right.
There's an off-on switch right there. And then in the front, you'll have pulse, and we don't have it turned on right now. We don't have it plugged in. There is the pulse feature, and then there's the off-on, and then you also have the variable speed dial. So you always want to start out low, and then slowly, ramp it up. So you can turn it on and then, increase your speed depending on what you're doing, what you're blending. And in the book, it will tell you what setting to use. Now, let's say if I'm making, you can make guacamole in here. You can make a chunky pizza sauce or a chunky marinara. And if I'm going to do something that I want to have it be a little more chunky, or like my salsa verde recipe, then I'll use the pulse, because I can quickly stop it, or I can just pulse until I get it to the right consistency. So you can do something smooth and creamy like my plant-based Alfredo sauce that is like velvety smooth, or you can do something a little more chunky, depending, on what you're making. And like my curry ginger butternut squash soup, if you don't have the immersion blender, you can put it in here and blend it, and it will come out so creamy and smooth. You can't even believe it. And if you're going to make something that is nut based with cashews or almonds, you will be amazed at how creamy and smooth it comes out. There will be no grit. Now, if you're just using a regular blender, you'll still have some graininess to it, but not with the Vitamix. It will be creamy and smooth. I have a chocolate chia pudding that I make in here. You would never know that it has chia seeds in it, because it completely obliterates those chia seeds, and that makes my chocolate chia pudding super creamy and smooth. It just has an amazing mouthfeel to it.
Is it satisfying to obliterate chia seeds?
It is. And you can make your own peanut butter in here, or any kind of nut butter. I make my hummus in here. I mean, it just, I can make hummus in here quicker than if I sent Tom to the grocery store to go buy hummus. I can have it made before he would ever get back with store-bought hummus. And so, not only does it save time, but it also saves money, because you can make so many things yourself at home and have them come out at the consistency and the quality that you would want them to be. So anyway, I did have a different high-powered blender before I had this one, and I can tell you that I much prefer this one. I really love having the tamper. For me, the tamper makes a huge difference in how the consistency of what I'm making turns out. So our daughter has the Vitamix blender. She cooks for a family of 5. She made baby food with it when the kids were little, and she uses it practically every day. You can make your own applesauce in it. You can throw an apple in there and a little bit of cinnamon, and you can make applesauce right in the blender. There's just so many things. Puree with sweet potatoes. Our daughter makes one with sweet potatoes, applesauce, and some cinnamon. And our grandkids have been eating that since they were little tiny kids, and we all love it. It's so good. So anyway, Vagana says my Explorian is my sweet little workhorse. Yep, absolutely. So yeah, and Vagana says those Vitamix history videos are some of my favorites in this channel. Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate that. We had so much fun being able to go there. So once again, we just want to let you know about...
Stephanie has a question about cleaning.
Okay. Yours looks so new. I remember when I had my old one, the base got drippings, splatterings, etc. What do you use to keep yours clean? So...
But the magic part of that is that this...
does come off.
This rubber part, which gets all of those splatters, comes off. And yeah, I mean, you could throw it in the dishwasher. We just scrub it down.
Yes, and then, so I do like, what is that, Dawn, the squirt stuff called?
Your magic soap.
I can't remember what that's called. So, but anyway, I use Dawn soap.
I'll get it.
Okay, you go get it. I use Dawn soap on it. Another thing that I do is I wash this as soon as I get done using it. So as soon as I've cleaned everything out of it, then there we go, power wash.
Dawn
power wash.
And this is like, I don't know, I think it should be regulated. It's really powerful,
strong,
special stuff.
Okay, so here's what I do. I'll take it immediately. My blender sits right next to my sink. I take it immediately and I rinse it out and get the gunk out. And then I fill it about a third of the way full with warm water, and I put 1 drop of Dawn dish soap. Not that, but just 1 drop of dish soap. And then I put the lid back on it.
That's the important part.
That's important. And then I turn it on, and I turn it up to high, and I run it. And when you have it on
for a minute or less,
about 60 seconds, 45 to 60 seconds, and it will make it foamy, and all of those bubbles will come up, and it will practically clean it all by itself. Now, if I've made something in it that's super sticky, then I probably will have to wipe it a little bit, and then I just rinse it with hot water. And then in order to keep it from getting spots all over it, you are going to want to use a nice soft kitchen towel and dry it right away. And that will help it from getting all the spots on it. And so this is my 64 ounce.
And then that one's 5 years old.
This
4
one,
or 5 years
right,
old.
and you can see that this one is a lot more cloudy because I've used it so much. Eventually doing the oats, if you're using it
for
grains, then it is going to show more scratching. These are BPA free. They can go in the dishwasher, but I never put mine in the dishwasher because we only run our dishwasher like once every other day, and I'm always going to need it before it would have the opportunity to get clean in there. So if you go to their website, they do have some ideas on how to clean it. You can use a little bit of baking soda in it if it has gotten some cloudiness built up on it. You can use a little, like just a couple drops of bleach if you want to. That's one of the things that they recommend that you can do. But I really feel like the best thing is to wash it right away, because also if you put it back on here and run it, then that gets everything out from under the blades, and you don't have to try to get under there with a cloth or a brush or anything if you wash it right away.
And you, as a rule, do keep the body too pretty clean, because you never know when it's going to wind up on a quick video.
Right.
So she does keep it.
I just wipe it down. So
Yeah.
when I'm wiping down my countertop, after I've had a cooking session, when I'm wiping down my countertop, then I go ahead and I wash this, and I just wipe this down with warm soapy water, and then I just take
No, you don't spray the body with
no,
this.
no.
Okay.
And I just take a cloth and I just dry it with the cloth to try, because it gets stuff splattered on it. It's just going to do that. And that is just going to happen.
Okay.
So, and you can see that I use this small one a lot, and that's why it looks cloudier too. So,
Okay.
so I hope that helps.
Yeah.
How is the Dawn Power Wash different from just Dawn dishwashing liquid?
I will answer that.
It is much stronger.
The very first, of course there's Dawn soap in here, but the first ingredient on the list, which means that's got the most of it in the bottle, is denatured alcohol. So that's why it smells so strong when we have a baking sheet or
I did plantains today on
black
my
on the
griddle,
pan.
and when I do the plantains on a non-stick griddle and without any oil, and I like them to get nice and brown, and so it always makes a sticky kind of a mess. And so I sprayed it as soon as it cooled down. I sprayed it with this, and then I let it set for probably about 20 minutes or so, and then it just cleaned right up. So easy.
Yeah, it's also got butyl ether. It is full of chemicals. That's why I say it should be regulated, because when you spray it and smell it, it smells rather industrial, but it's all just basic cleaning chemicals. But yeah, alcohol being the first one works as a great solvent, and that's denatured alcohol. So it has a smell.
It does.
So yeah, it's quite different than just your other bottle of soap. And we have a few other questions right there as well.
So Sandra says, I've only used the food processor attachment for making hummus. Do you like the blender better? I do like the blender for hummus better myself. Now, I know that other people prefer the food processor for it. I feel like I get a much creamier consistency when I use this. So I use the food processor for making my different types of, I have brownies, I have some blondies, I make those in the food processor. I use the food processor to grate carrots. I recently was making something with zucchini, and so I used the slicer to do the zucchini in the food processor. I use
You and Shada were using it for your cooking session on some of her dishes, because she wanted it to be chunky and not blended.
Right, and so we used the food processor to make the eggplant dip from Shada's new cookbook. When she was here, we made that a couple times and used the food processor for that. I use it to make my veggie burgers. I use it to make my lentil loaf. If I want to, blend up some lentils to use. There's some muffins that my daughter likes for the kids that has lentils in it. I'll use it for that. So if you have something that has more liquid in it, that is better done in my opinion, that's better done in the blender. If you have something that is drier, has less liquid, then that's better done in the food processor. So they have two different uses, actually. So I hope that helps.
Yeah.
So let's see.
That one we'll be dealing with at the end with the 4 red questions.
Okay. Tiffany Wilkinson. Tiffany, hi. Thank you for joining us.
It must be Sunday afternoon. Tiffany's here.
And that food processor is extremely powerful. I love it. Yes, Tiffany, what do you like to use the food processor for? What kinds of things are you making in it?
Every time Tammy uses the food processor, because she had that big, fancy
I still have it. It's out in the garage.
That boat anchor one. I don't know how much it weighs. It's got to weigh 25 pounds.
Oh, it's so heavy.
Anyway,
it's a Cuisinart. It was expensive. You paid like $500 for it.
Every time she grabs that one, she says, I'm so glad I have my Vitamix food processor. This is so nice. I can just get it out of the cupboard. So every time she uses it, she's all happy again.
Of course.
Yeah. It's like that movie with Drew Barrymore and 50 First Dates or something.
Yeah. Oh, would you grab the other discs? I'll show them the other discs.
Every time she gets it, she gets all happy again because she has it. So
what can I say?
It was a great investment. Yeah.
Oh, it was. I'm so glad that Wanda told me about the food processor. I absolutely love it. I will tell you that it is. It's worth every penny. It's worth every penny. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I did put links in the show notes of course, for what's going on with Vitamix now with the blender is in there.
Right.
But I also did links for the basic food processor, which is the food processor in 2 blades. Mm-hmm. And then there's a bundle which has a bunch of stuff. Click on that link and then we'll show you all the stuff that comes in that.
Right. So you can get a food processor bundle that comes with more than the standard 2 blades. And so the extra blades that you can purchase, because I had the basic one first, and then later they came out with these additional blades. And so of course I had to have the additional blades. So this one is for making julienne. So if you want julienne carrots or bell peppers or julienne cucumbers or zucchini, this is going to be perfect for that, and it works really well. Then this is what they call veggie sticks, and so this works well like for French fries. So, or if you want to do
those are bigger openings on
openings
on the little cutter there.
Yeah, and they call it veggie sticks. So you can make thicker carrot sticks. You can make, but I've used it to make French fries with it, so which works really well. And then this
fine shred, and on the other side is a fine, that little slice blade right there. Oh, No fingers. Oh. That was close. I was close to that blade.
Yeah. So anyway, they have extra blades that you can get. Take a look at the website and decide, what you think that you will use the most of, and then make a decision based on that.
What's that lid for?
Yeah, this is an extra lid that I purchased. This is so, like, if you're using...
when you're done blending,
well,
you can close it.
You can close it, or you can use this. You
don't need the chute.
If you don't need the chute, yeah. So I was just extra. I ordered it. I was going to say something else. What was I going to say? Oh, I was going to say that all of the full-size Vitamix blenders all do the same thing. What is different are the features that they have on the front. So, like, some of them are digital, some of them have pre-programs, and some of them are analog, like this one is. And but they all do the same things. They will all blend and puree and chop. So it's just a matter of,
yeah, they all have the same 2.2 horsepower motor.
Yes.
And on the wireless connectivity, the self-detect, which allows you to use
the food processor.
That is a function of the Venturist V1200, and that's a function of the Ascent series, and that's a different video because this video is dedicated to this machine. But the self-detect has to do with being able to use the food processor.
Right,
so.
And it's just the two models that have it, the V1200 and then the Ascent.
And then your runtime things you were talking about on the containers.
Right, and then the Ascent series has them.
Okay.
And so, but let's see, make sure we answered everything. Tiffany said the storage for the blades is so convenient, and yes, it is. And Jessie says that she prefers this stainless steel. We do have, if you want to show them, there is a 48-ounce stainless steel container that you can also get that will fit on the Venturist or the Ascent. And so this is the 48-ounce stainless steel, or you can get the BPA free.
So these function the same as each other.
Yep, they function just the same.
This one just looks really nice if you got a stainless steel motif in your kitchen.
And Tom had to have this because he loves the look of the stainless steel, and so he had to have that. Let's see. Jessie says, we love the stainless steel pitcher. It's why we bought the Vitamix. The only issue is that you can't see what's inside of it after you put the lid on, but it's still okay. And that is true. So if I'm making something in it that I'm going to be particular about the consistency of it, then I will do it in the clear container.
Yeah, or if you're mixing up a single smoothie, because we can only make a single and that's double, we need the big container.
Right.
But you can see where you need to go with tamper to get things engaged in the blade.
Exactly. But like for my standard salad dressings, I know, exactly how to make them, and I don't need to use the tamper, and I'll use the stainless steel for that.
The cheese sauce works fine in here.
Yeah, and the same for making like the nice cream or the fruit sorbet. I'll make it in here because I know how long it's going to take, and I know that, it's going to turn out perfect. And so I'll use the stainless steel for that. But if it's something that I need to watch, then I will definitely use the clear one. Let's see. I'm just checking. Jessie had to step away to check on their lentil veggie soup and stew. That sounds good. I wish I had some of that going.
Stephanie says, are the wider body pitchers better for smoother smoothies and hummus than the thin ones? If we're making a smoothie for both of us, we absolutely need the 64 ounce. And
it has more to do with the volume that you're making than it does the type of food, because it has that high-powered motor base, And so it has more to do with the volume of it. So if I want to do a small amount of like a sauce or something, I'm going to need to use my 48 ounce.
Because everything that needs the blade action is going to be closer to the blade in the base.
Right.
And get caught up in the Vitamix vortex, we call it. And if you have more volume, then the wider base works fine.
So whatever you're making, the blades need to be covered with the liquid. So, you know, you have to have something in here that has enough volume that it will be over the blades. Otherwise, you can't get that vortex and things can't get sucked down into the blades. And so, you know, you have to kind of think about what you're making in them and decide which size is best. So for a small amount of something, I'm going to use my 48 ounce container for that. So that's why this is good for small to medium amounts of content. This is good for medium to large amounts of content. So I hope that helps. Okay.
All right.
I think that's everything. First, I want to say thank you to Jesse and Tiffany for hopping on and helping us out in the chat. We really appreciate that so much, and so good to see you both in the chat. So thank you very much for that. And we want to thank everyone for watching. And if you haven't already, would you please give our video a thumbs up, and please think about sharing this in some of your Facebook groups or on your personal page. If you wouldn't mind, you can get a share link. If you just click on share for the video, you can get a link and share this so that other people can take advantage of this incredible sale. So I know there's some green smoothie Facebook groups and so forth. And of course, we can't put any links in those because that's considered self-promotion. But this is a wonderful opportunity for people in the plant-based community, especially those people who are just starting out and don't have a high-powered blender. You can buy less expensive blenders, but what we know is that a lot of people end up having to replace those. You know, they'll only last for so long doing all the hard work that we do. So this is an initial investment, but then you will have it for years to come.
It's difficult for me to be in an environment where I can't promote myself.
What am I to do with you?
I always feel a need to self-promote.
Well, it's not allowed on Facebook groups, and I totally get it.
It bolsters my ego.
I totally understand it. Oh my goodness.
Makes me feel more valuable.
Do I not bolster your ego? Do I not make you feel valued? I don't know. 45 years, you'd think that I would have that down pat by now.
When you invited me into the show, I was causing you to forget everything.
Well, I got distracted by looking at you.
Okay,
What can I say? All right, you guys, thank you so much. This has been so much fun. We wish you many years of happy blending. I'm Tammy.
And I'm Tom.
And we help you get healthy and stay healthy. One blend at a time. I love it.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
See you next time.